there, creatives. Welcome back. It is Tuesday, and with that, it means another design for you from me in the Creator Studio. So, before we get started, couple housekeeping rules. One, if you are wanting to keep this tutorial, and I know we're just starting, you're like, I don't even have any idea what you're making unless you read the title. Super simple. Copy paste this video to your Facebook page. Just click the share button. If you're on YouTube, click the save button. That'll save it onto your YouTube account. If you are on Facebook and you're missing the notifications, double check these two things, because I have a couple of people who are saying, I've done all the things and I'm still missing the notifications. So remember, the notifications are not going to flag you or tone your phone or anything like that. You have to have your phone handy, or your tablet or a computer, however you're watching this. And you want to make sure that you have liked this page. So if you haven't done that, can you do me a favor and click the like button really super quick? And then let's double check that your notifications are actually turned on. So right next to the like button, there's a blue button. Skip that one. Go to the next, there's like three little dots. Click the three little dots. It'll open up a sub menu, and it will allow you to double check that your box is checked that says turn notifications on. If it is not, just click that little area and turn your notifications on. You need to do that for everybody that you're watching on Facebook who you want to be notified when they go live. That's the standard rule of thumb. Unless Facebook has changed it, which wouldn't surprise me, but that's that. YouTube subscribers, you are watching a replay of a earlier Facebook Live. So if you want to join me live, hop on over to Facebook, KatsCreationsNMore. That's where you'll find me. If you just are catching the replays or the tutorials, all you want to do is make sure you click the subscribe button or click the little bell. It's a subscription bell. And that will allow you to subscribe to my channel and be notified whenever I have uploaded a new video, so you won't miss out on anything. And I want to say it's almost 600 tutorials that you can peruse and look at. What else? I've already done all the things. So those of you that are on my Facebook page, if you didn't know that I had a YouTube page, I'd love for you to go over there and follow me on my YouTube page. Super handy. In the event, sometimes people come here on my Facebook page looking for the tutorial. It's easier just to go to YouTube and use that search bar and type it in there. So love it if you go over there and visit. Let me make sure I can view your comments and that everything's working on my end. It looks to be that way. So, hi Elizabeth. Hi Valerie. Just watching the video or the business class. Yeah, I'm like gonna really crack open 2025 and really share some secrets with you guys. So next week, if you're in my private group, I'm teaching you how to launch a YouTube channel on that. So if you're not currently a member and you'd love to be a member, you can go to my website, which I'm going to type down below. So let me go ahead and do that, so that we have everything handy. That way, if I reference it, it's already pinned. You already know that. Okay, let me make sure I'm not that name. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Sometimes I should just, it's like, put the wrong name in there. Thanks, Facebook, for attempting to help, even though you spelled it incorrectly. Okay, can we pin that now? There we go. We're trying. There you go. It's pinned. If I pin the comment, it stays at the bottom, no matter what we do. So, that is pinned down below. Hi, Jen. Welcome. So, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, I'd love it if you shared my page. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So, new sign, new design, and it's great because you can use it around. So let me pan you down, and we're going to cover all the materials. So bear with me. I was making adjustments to my camera, and I think I'm there. Hang tight just a little bit. I'm trying to get this edge in. And it's weird because that's always where this little weird box is on my end. Okay, so these are the colors we're doing because we're doing a lavender and sage wreath. Let me show you the sign. This just came out from Pam this year. So this is called Welcome Home. It is an interesting sign. I love the subtleties of the colors, but it is darn right hard to try to color match this because we're working in the tertiary colors. So what I did find is if you look at the sign, let me get rid of this light. If you look at the sign, it's got some different colored greens. It's got some lighter greens, got some darker greens, got some lavender, got some blue. So I chose to do a sage and a lavender wreath. So that's what I'm going to theme this one is sage and lavender. So it could go year round because I love those color combinations. And so that's what I chose to do. So that's the 12-inch sign from Pam at Personalize It by Pam on Etsy, which is why we're getting the moss green and the lavender color. But Deco Mesh color was challenging because if you do sagey green, right? If you do sage green, you'll wash out all the green. If you do lavender, you're going to wash out all the lavender. So I chose to keep it neutral, and we are going to pop the sage colors in and the lavender, as well as some artificial florals to hopefully bring this sign to life. So before I get started, we're going to wire together this 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. We're going to start by wiring together the two inside rails first using this mossy green pipe cleaner. And I just kind of find a midway space in between these. Then on the outside, it's a little bit different. I used to say use the weld in the center and kind of come up with a midway point, which you can still do. So let's do that because that's what I've told you all along in the past. So always make sure that you have the same lengths on your pipe cleaner and do the same here. And then I'm going to show you what is a little bit different. So what I've been noticing is when you put all your Deco Mesh pieces together, these two are close, these two are far. These two are close, these two are far. So I have been measuring the distance between them, and I'm trying to make sure that we are roughly about 3 inches in between them all so that we will have exact distance all the way around. We shouldn't have too close together and too far away. So that is the color scheme for this one. So obviously you can tell we're going to be doing sage green ribbons and lavender ribbons, which is our color palette. We are doing a iridescent wide foil white Deco Mesh cut with the wood ribbing tool to 20-inch pieces. Why? I always have people who tell me, well, I struggle with the 12-inch signs because 12 inches on this 14-inch Dollar Tree frame is going to sit somewhere right in between these two. This is 10 inches, this is 14, so somewhere right in between, which doesn't give you an awful lot of room to add a lot of stuff to the center, which is great if you struggle at making bows. So this one, you could totally bypass the whole bow making thing and just make this look gorgeous. So doing this pattern with the ruffles allows me to just make sure that we have outside borders of Deco Mesh for this design because our sign is going to take up so much real estate. So I am gathering my Deco Mesh in 1/2-inch increments going against the curl, and I'm going to take the finished edge, and we're going to do the 6 inside first because those are coming out. Once I add my Deco Mesh pieces, we're going to trim, and then we are done with the inside 6. Doing the configuration this way gives you 18 pipe cleaners, 6 on the inside, 12 to the outside. I always cut off the excess and then just tuck that back to the center. I'm not going to worry about fluffing these just yet. Hi, Anne-Marie. How are you? Hi, Nancy. Welcome. Okay, so we are just going to gather. Just like this. And again, popping that right down into the center. Going to go ahead and fasten that a couple extra times. We're going to remove this excess end and then tuck that back to the center. Don't worry about fluffing those because we still got to get the outside pieces to kind of fit in between those. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not pinching any of my edges when I'm laying that inside. Snipping off what remains, tucking that to the center. I try to use the inside pieces, the ones where the curls are the tightest, over pieces like this one that are a little bit wider, because laying them against the curl is easy. As you can see, like what I'm doing here with my scissors is keeping it flat, which is what our Deco mesh is doing by, number one, being gathered and laid in against the curl, like so, just right inside there. And then we're going to do a couple of twists, remove the excess, tuck the excess back down in. Gonna make sure these are all ready to go. So with this method, you will have no waste. When it comes to your Deco mesh, you will have no extra left on a roll that you gotta try to find a way to finagle into your storage cabinet somewhere. Hi, Arvina. Welcome. So, anyone here joining me for the very first time? Is this your very, very first live with me? They tuck that one back inside. And we've got one more right in here. I'm trying to make sure I actually make my trash hit the trash can. I don't know why, but after my lives I look and I'm like, completely missed the trash can. And everything's all over the floor. I'm like, how is that possible? The trash can is right at the edge of this countertop. So here we have done the 6 inside, snipping that off, tucking it in the middle. Now we are going to focus on the outside ones. So make sure, like this one's kind of tucked. Just make sure you've got your pieces on the outside. So these are the 2 that we're going to swing in right here in the center. Doesn't really matter if you grab a tight piece or a loose piece, depending upon how you cut that off of your roll. So I am going to go in right here, tuck this in, and this one we are not removing our pipe cleaners. But we are going to take now and we are going to fluff these out over the pieces that we put on the inside. So let me get the other piece in so we can fill this whole section. I'm always like pushing my scissors out of the way, but I need them there to kind of hold everything in place. Squish it in nice and tight, and then we're going to unfurl that. So I always want to make sure that the piece before is completely covering that rail, that we don't have any separation. And I'm picking these up and I'm folding the edges over just so. Then I will line up my pipe cleaners so that we're ready when it comes time to add our ribbon inside. We are good. Okay, now grabbing these two. These are the next two. You can kind of see where they're lining up. Okay, scissors, get out of the way. Let's lay you right down inside. I always try to make sure that I get my Deco mesh centered on that pipe cleaner, so right where I've gathered is right where I'm laying that in on that pipe cleaner. Again, fold your edge over. This one we're going to do the same. Make sure I have these lined up so that when I come in and lay my pipe cleaner in, or my Deco mesh piece in, it'll cover the separation between those pieces. Do you guys have any questions that I can answer for you at all? Sounds like my husband is home. I think it's our neighbor next door though. Okay, so we're gonna make sure, I'm just making sure this one piece, because it went pretty far. That is my husband. He got off early. Wow, he got off way early. Crazy, crazy. He's been doing training all week, so he's like, I'm going to try to head out early today. So you never know. Love it when he's home early. Okay, 2 twists. Fanning this out. So, again, here's that large piece. And I'm just going to kind of overlap the two. Want to make sure that we have equal access all the way around the outside. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to pull the sides back just like this so that I can get that piece in without having to fight that piece of Deco mesh. You love the colors? Aw, thank you. Hi Kenna Curtis, welcome, your first time. Where are you watching from? Jan says, how do you decide if you attach an outside piece in the middle or 2/3 on the inside? Okay, so you're in my Wreath of the Month group because we started figuring out that dealing with the elevated work frame, we have that 2-inch rise to deal with. So when I'm using the work frame wreaths and I am trying to cover that elevation gap, I will put 2/3 to the outside, or I'm sorry, 2/3 to the center, and then only 1/3 on the top rail, the top 8. Here, because everything is flat, I don't have to, there's not an elevation change that I have to deal with. So the mesh is cut to 20-inch pieces. There are 18 of them, which on a 30-foot roll should yield you exactly 18 pieces at 20 inches, meaning no leftovers. Which is why when I first started out, I'm like, what am I doing with all these leftover rolls? What can I do with it? It's just such a waste. You know, because I would do 30-inch Ruffles or do 2 or 3 different colors. And I'm like, man, I have a lot of excess. So I don't really have a full roll that I can really benefit from. So I came up with a formula for no waste. And depending upon the desired look that you're trying to achieve, like this one, we're trying to achieve the flat. It's going to be more flat than full. Not pancake flat, though. Because pancake flat would only be 12 pieces, and this has 18. Oh, you're so welcome. I am happy to help you. That's why I love the lives. I'm like, where else can you just ask people questions and get some feedback, you know? So I'm placing these ones in about it's like exactly half. So that's how I know, Sue. Okay. So I know I'm going to end up having to come in here because these guys are not giving me a perfect line like these ones. There's no line of sight in here. So I'm pushing those to the center. Okay, this one and this one now. Let's take my center and push those up. So 3 more pieces to go. 4. Sorry, 4. I was like, I see 4 pipe cleaners, but I only see 3 pieces of mesh. And then I looked up, I have 1 sitting in a basket. So while I was cutting, I was trying really hard to make sure I was keeping count of everything. So I'm going to right side the left portion of that piece. Still going to pull this back because we've got to get this piece in here. And we're going to plop this one in. Trying to get that in. That piece from the left is like trying to get in the way. Okay, now we will deal with the left and the right. So I'm just going behind the pipe cleaner because that'll cause my ribbons to lay flat. Here's the last piece, last 2 pieces. I'm going to push all this back so that I have a clear point to make that through. Okay, that one goes right in. Nice and tight. I just do 2 twists. Gonna make sure that's pulled back. That is pulled over. So again, we have that separation. That's exactly what I want to see. And then the same thing here. Got to get that piece in. So I'm going to take this and twist it backwards, just like that, so we can squeeze that in. So watch, I'm going to show you what the sign looks like on the form before we add any color, and you're going to go, you might not even like it. At first when I pulled white, I was like, nope, no white. And then I pulled a really pretty sage colored green, but it had gold in it. And I was like, ooh, the green part is great, but the gold part doesn't function. So sometimes you just got to make do with what you got. So now I'm going to pull back that piece that I had here. So we're filling the sides. Straight up, straight down. Same thing here. Pulling these up, pulling these pieces over so they connect. Just like that. Otherwise your ribbon won't lay flat. It'll kind of elevate. So there is the Deco mesh base. So look, when I add that sign to it, you're thinking, bleh. That's what I was thinking. Bleh, it doesn't look very good. It's like there's no color. It's bleh. Okay, but watch. Now we're going to come in and add in our ribbon tails. So remember, this is sage and green, or sage and lavender. So these are the colors. So we have this lavender, which is cut to 28 inches. We're going to make bows. Then we're pairing that with a 14-inch, 2.5-inch purple or lavender and white gingham. It's got like a sparkle to it. And then we are going to take a 2.5, cut to 14 inches. It's a sage, kind of like a darky kind of green and white diagonal plaid. And we're pairing this with, it is kind of like a, it's a really dark sage color. Like, it's not forest green, but it's almost like a silvery gray. So those are the two colors. So obviously, where purple is, we're putting our purple. So where the lavender pipe cleaners are, that's where we're coming in, putting our lavender. So the first thing we're going to do is take the 2.5-inch tail, fold it in half. It's already dovetailed. And so we're going straight up the center. We're going to lay that right on the inside. One twist. Put your fingers on the underside of the ribbon and pull them out so they kind of fan out. Then we are going to make hand-tied little bows. So we are going 7 inches in. You're going to gather. Okay. Then you're going to take another 7 inches and you're going to gather. And then you're going to hand it off and you're going to twist. Then you're going to do another 7 inches. You're going to put it into your left hand and you're going to twist. And so now you have created a hand-tied little bow. So now that is going directly inside the center of our pipe cleaner. I was just saying, I don't know how he got home so early. Must have been no training. So that is how we're doing our sagey colors. So I'm going to twist, 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 and then we're going to remove the excess. And then we're just going to fan that down. And then that, my friends, is what we did with the lavender pairing. So I want this to kind of have like a nice feminine feel to it, even though it's a generic welcome wreath. Hi. And then this one, we're doing fold in half, scrunch up the center, and these are our standard half bows. So for obvious reasons, you can't put double bows in or regular bows in all the way through because there just is not enough space. So here's the green. Now we're going to take the 19-inch piece. We're going to go up about 2 inches. You're going to gather in. Okay, that is going right inside your pipe cleaner. And you're going to give it all the twists. And then cut off what remains. Now that little tail, that little stub, you're going to go all the way around the back of your loop. Go ahead and open your loop. And now you're going to undo and fluff your outside bow so that you have what's called a half bow because it's only got one loop. And then we've got, this is kind of where it's happening. So again, depending upon where your preference is, if you like it more purple, then you'll put your purple pieces on top of your green. You'll still see your green, but purple will be the more predominant color. So we'll just kind of let that go. We're going to go ahead and do this all the way around the outside. So you will need 6 of each color and 6 of each length to do what I have featured in this tutorial. So again, in goes the half bow, and then we're going to hand tie. So let me show you how this looks over here. So 7 inches in, I think you can see that. You're going to gather. Okay, that's in the right hand. Just switch it to your left, just trade off. Then I want you to take that and go all the way back to your start finish line and measure out another 7 inches. Okay, then I want you to pick it up and hand it to your left hand, and then I want you to twist your other, the part that remains. Go back to your start finish line, gather in 7, put it back in the center, twist, and that, my friends, is how you make a super simple little hand-tied bow. And then we're going to add that directly into this pipe cleaner. So now that'll hold it where my fingers were holding it before. Cut off the excess. We're taking that and going behind the back. And then you're going to fluff your loops and then fluff your tails. Super, super cute. Okay, just like that. Now let's go and put in our sage color. Jan, you like the hand-tied bow? Those are so easy to do. So you just want to make sure you have equal lengths all the way through. So however, like if you want it to have an 8-inch tail, then you're going to go 8-inch tail, figure out what your loop size are. For most of the smaller hand-tied bows, I always do 3.5 inches. So that's where 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. That's where I get that second measurement of 7 in. And then we do it for the other loop, and then 7 inches for the tail. So 28 inches. And then the half bows are only 19 inches. I figured it's been a while since we've done something else besides half bows and tails. So I'm trying to vary the methods that I'm doing. I haven't decided if I want the sage or the green on top just yet. Right now I'll just put purple on there until I decide I want different. So fold, scrunch, place that right in the center, one twist, fan that out. Then you're going to just do all your mini hand ties. So wherever you can measure 7 inches is where you're going to do it. Twist, 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 and then it helps to always have your pipe cleaner ready in that up-down position like these are, so that you can just lay that hand-tied bow right inside, tighten up your pipe cleaner, and then loop those around. And then just make sure you can see all the pretties, all the bows, all the ribbons. What did you guys think of the color combinations? Because this one was a tough challenge for me. I hadn't decided if I wanted to go a light sage or a dark sage. I knew it had to be a light purple because there's nothing on the sign that indicates darker. But on the sage, you could go light or dark. They're both present in the greenery around the sign. Hi, Donna. She said, hi, Kat. Bit late, just got in from work. Well, thanks for coming and joining. We are making a sage and lavender welcome home wreath. Kind of another one of those, whatchamacallit, everyday things you can stick in between transition, although this one feels a little bit more Mother's Day, a little bit more, whatchamacallit, a spring. Like, I would probably put this one out more towards the first half of the year than the last half. Sue says, you sound like you have a cold. It's actually just because it is so cold outside. It has been, it was supposed to be 47 degrees today. Never quite hit that. We woke up to freezing temperatures, so everything is icy and frozen today. So I have been going in and out, breaking up water, feeding all the animals, because obviously the ground is frozen, the water's frozen, the chickens want out in whatever sun they can get, so you're running out there and making sure they have access to some sunlight before the rains come. And then the deer have been a pain today. I had 16 deer this morning for, not this morning, like lunchtime. And I went out there and I fed them all, and then something spooked them out. It was our neighbor's, I think it's our neighbor's dog. The deer have not figured out that the neighbors have electric fence, so the dog can't go through the fence, but every time they hear the dog, they take off. So I put out all this food, and then they left. And I was thinking, oh, they'll come back. No, they didn't come back. Instead, I was feeding squirrels, every manner of jay and doves, and everybody was outside having a free-for-all fest. So it's been kind of crazy. You're loving the colors, Nancy? So awesome. Elizabeth said we had 23 this morning and I only got to 40 in Munns Park, Arizona. Thank you for putting that in there, because you know I'll be like, where are you at again? I know you're in Arizona. So I just have to remember up closer to Flagstaff. So yes, that makes sense. It is winter, folks. It's coming. Winter's officially here, December 21st. Although the temperatures are definitely making it feel like winter's here already. See, like this Deco mesh, this piece was like way up in the air. So I would never be able to get this ribbon to lay right without taking this and just twisting it under, and taking this one and just twisting it back. So now I can see the next spot for my ribbon. I wonder if we're gonna, we have not had any snow so far. This is year number 3. First 2 years we had already had our first snowfall here. No snow. We've just had freezing temps. The ground is frozen. Okay, we are doing our hand tied. So 7 inches in, switch hands, 7 inches in, switch, twist, 7 inches in, put it together, twist. One of these days I'll actually prep my pipe cleaner to go in. I always have it laid sideways for the half bows. Take that fuzz out, flip that back, open, open, and fan it out. Okay, 3 more sets and then our ribbons are finished. Yay! Squish. Place this down. Steve left. I know he's like, it's too cold in there. He tells me that all the time. It's so cold in your shop. Uh-huh. How do you think I feel? It's cold out there. But I'm not going to complain. I'd rather have it too cold than too hot. And yes, we do have some unseasonably warm days. Okay, around the back, open the loop. Right side, my left side of my tail. We'll fan this one to the outside. One of each remains. Just one of each. Any other questions you guys have? Scrunch right up the center. And we'll fan that out. And here is our last hand-tied bow. Literally, you can do it anywhere you can get your measurements. Twist. Twist. Super simple. And I still didn't do that, even on the last one. You would think. Come on, girl. Prep. Prep ahead of time. Alrighty. Drop that back. Open my loop. Last one for our tails. Squish up. We're going to get this one in. You can see that the Deco mesh right here is way over. So again, just do that little twist technique. Just twist it and get it out of the way. And then dovetailed edges together 2 inches from the top of our loop. Place that right inside. Cut that off around the back. Open the loop. Right side this portion. And we are good. Okay, now let's check this line. Are we getting closer? Oh, it's getting there. Look what happened. It's getting there. We're slowly we're feeling those colors come to the outside. Okay, so let's do a bow really quick. And our bow is going to sit at the bottom, I think. I think that's what I would like. Bow at the bottom. Because Welcome Home is right in the center. So yes, I'm going to put it at the bottom. So let's pull out all those colors. And we're actually going to make this a 7-ribbon bow. So we're I think it's how I have it. Like that. No, I have to go purple. So purple goes on the other sides of the green. These go here. And then we're doing a 7/8 inch velvet with a softer shade of green. So that's just going to be our little accent. So, where did all the ribbon come from? Let's see. Craft Outlet. This dark green is from Sam's Club. The solid purple is from Kringle Designs. I usually get 50-yard spools of solids. Craft Outlet for the diagonal plaid. And then again, Craft Outlet for the green and white gingham, as well as the 5/8 inch velvet ribbon. Those are all Craft Outlet. So we are going to start with our bow, which is dovetail the edge first. It's always a good place to start. That just means bring the wire edges together. You're going to cut from the folded side down to the wired point or wired end, wherever that ends. So how deep you go depends how deep your V will be. Okay, so we are measuring 10 inches for our tails. We're going to gather in and we're going to twist. And I'm using the Bodabra, so that's going to, the twist is going to slide right in between those spring-held hinges, so it's going to hold the ribbon like you're holding your fingers. Okay, then I'm going to go up and around, and I want a 5.5 inch loop for the tail, or the loop. So I'm going to twist, slide that back down. I'm going to level my Bodabra so it's level here, and then when I stretch this out, I need it to come to 5.5 inches. I'm way short. So there's more along the lines of 5.5. Then I'm going to do that to the other side. Just kind of guess. Level. I'm taking the center and lining this up with my 10-inch line on the mat so that when I pull this out, I can see, hey, it stops at 5.5 inches. And then we're going to go all the way out, and here's 10 inches, dovetail cut, and we're all set with that one. That is done and over with. Now we're going to take our gingham. I'm looking. I have a new roll. Let's see how far this will go. There's not much on here. I don't think that'll get me too far. 36. So if we go 18, 10, I'm trying to do the math in my head. 9.5 and 9.5 is 19. And then we need 10 inches, so that's 29. No, I need 39 inches to finish. So we will just add that to this roll. So I have a new roll. So we'll dovetail the end here. And this one we're going to do at 9.5 inches. So we're going to gather. We're going to twist. And then we are going to do 5-inch loops. Same way. Always twist, put it in, level it, and put it on your 10-inch line. And then when you pull this out, make whatever adjustments you need to where you have a 5-inch loop. This side, the same. Bring it back over, leveled. I'm right on my 5 inches. This one needs to come out. And we're trimming this at 9.5. We'll do our dovetail cut. Sue says, I love the different types of ribbon. It gives it depth and dimension. I totally agree. I wish I would have had, so I'm going to take this leftover piece right here that's taped on, and when I'm just adding it to the existing roll of ribbon. No sense having the ribbon just kind of hanging out. So this is enough to make a couple tails if I was adding tails to this ribbon. So that's how I salvage that. That's over there. Okay, now we're doing that dark green from Sam's. And I had a ton of different color greens I could have used. Everything from an emerald green, Kelly green, a little bit more of a sagey, silvery green. I chose to do this one because I wanted the darker shades of the green in that diagonal plaid, and pulling from the darker shades of the leaves in our sign. So now I'm looking for loops at 4.5 inches. So once I have it, I'm just guessing where it is, but you can always see that I come back, I confirm it, making sure we're right where we need to be. And then I'm taking this one out to 9 inches, dovetail the end, and that one's in and done. So doing a bow that has a lot of ribbons in it means you'll use less ribbon. And like Sue says, you'll get a better bow that has a lot of dimension and depth to it because you're looking at a bunch of different colors and textures. So here's our lavender. Dovetail the end. And now we're going to do 8.5 inches for the tail length. And then we're going to do 4.5 inches again for the loop length. I want these two exactly the same. So I'm going to bring it back, fan that out. Because I've already measured the green, I can just take my fingers and put them in both and then pull on the purple to make sure that it is the length that I need. 8.5. There's that one. So the purple is done. I thought I could hear the pin for that one. It's probably rolled. Nope, right here. Okay. And I moved the pin. Completely missed the ribbon. Okay. Now we're going to do the green diagonal. So dovetail. This one is going to be 8 inches long with 4-inch loops. So there's my 8. Now we're going to measure our 4-inch loops. There's 4. We're right there. And then back out to 8 inches. Okay. There's that. Take our pieces away. And now we're going to take our gingham ribbon, the 1.5 inches, and we're going to do 7.5 inches for our tail length. And we're going to do the same like we did in the purple and the green. We're going to do the same loop length. So here's 7.5 inches for my tail. We're going up and over, pulling this here. I always try to just make sure that I get all of my pleats, like that I don't have a really bad pucker in between my ribbon. So I make sure everything's nice and tight. And then I need this out to 7.5. Put our dovetail end on that. Okay, and then the last one is just going to be that little accent ribbon for a little touch of elegance with that velvet texture. I did order sage ribbon in the 1.5 inches, whatchamacallit, 1.5 inches length. So you said those scissors look like they're easy to use. Where'd you get them? Kringle Designs. They're super, super sharp. So just make sure when you're using them for the first time, keep your fingers away. They are that sharp. So I use them strictly for cutting ribbon because they are that sharp. So we are going to do 7 inches for our tail length, and we're going to do a 3.5 inch loop. Right about, I had it right the first time. I don't know why I kept pulling it back. And then 7, right there. Dovetail the end. And this stuff has really thick wire in there. So those scissors too, when you first get them, are enough to cut like all your ribbon tails. Like if you're doing all the purple and you can coordinate and hold all your ribbon together, they will cut all 6 of those ribbons and do all your dovetail cuts at once. Okay, so we are going to use green pipe cleaner. I'm going to pick up the whole stack, squishing as I go. Then I'm just going to right my finger so that I can get the pipe cleaner in. Still compressing. I'm going to just twist once, and then I'm going to twist the stack of ribbons in the opposite direction, but just hold the pipe cleaner. That way it's so much easier on your hands. Okay, so we said we're doing a downward bow. So I'm going to get my fluff board, which is just a 24 by 24 by 1 inch thick piece of plywood with a 1.5 to 2 inch C-hook in it. My goal is to hook the pipe cleaner. So all I do is run it right alongside my C-hook, and it just holds my ribbon and keeps it from sliding off. Okay, easiest way to do this, since this is a downward bow, is pull all your tails straight down. This is the fluffing part. Bring all the tails of all your ribbons straight down. So it only leaves the loops at the top. Okay, there we go. There's all the tails, just like that. Okay, now we're going to fluff. So this one that we have at the center is going to be a center bow, so it's just going to come straight up. These two here, I'm going to crisscross. So the little green goes in the middle. So I've got purple on this side, sage on that side. On this side, I'm going to change. So I'm going to do purple on this side and the green on this side. Okay? Same thing down here. Whichever color you want to bring up, I'm going to change these. So the green is going to come in between the green and the purple, and then the purple goes in between that. On this side, because we've changed it, switched it up, we are going to, as soon as I get my fingers in them, okay, same thing here. I'm going to bring the purple up. Green is going down below. Okay, up here, green is going up, purple is going down. But now let's put some life in that and really lift those ribbons up, like open them. Let's give them some love and some life, like that. Okay, take that. It just, my pipe, the one tail is in the way because the pipe cleaner's there. Now for this, you are just going to bring your ribbon tails together and just run them through your fingers. That'll put that little curl back in them, which is nice because that'll follow the direction of the wreath as it goes down, because it's on that dome. There's a slight elevation. You won't notice it so much on the bottom because it's laying flat on the board. But here we have all our ribbon colors represented here, so that now when we put our sign in, here's your pre-show. This is what it's going to look like. So it looks weird on your side. It seems like the ribbon's in the way. It's because I'm laying it flat, but when I lift it up, it's not. Okay, so sign out of the way. We're going to take our bow off. There we go. Where'd you go?
I filled up some firewood, but then there's more.
Okay. So now we are going and pulling our wreath over. Because our sign is 12 inches, let's prep the sign really quick. I always forget to do that. So, on the back, we are going to add our business card so our customer knows when they're ready to order another one, they know who to call, because you put all that information, because nobody hangs on to business cards. Everybody loses them. So, we're just going to make sure. We'll just make it easy for them to find. Now, this has to get secured to the wreath. So I'm going to punch holes into it on the sides. You could use the lines that are already there. I'm going to go in between them, a little closer to the bottom. I never like precisely measure them. Never have. And I'm going to do floral wire. So about 14 inches, which is 7 inches on either side. And I get this from Michael's. I think I said 22 gauge, right? Okay, so back over. We are going straight in. Oop. And now I'm going to wrap my wire, but I'm going to wrap it and twist it right over the hole. This way the wire stays behind the sign and not out towards the side. And we're going to do the same on this side. Okay, building right over the side. You look like a lost little boy, like you don't know what to do. Huh? Oh. Do you need something in here?
I'll do it later.
What is it? Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. I have all day tomorrow. Hopefully it'll warm up. It's too cold right now.
It's super foggy outside.
Is it? Okay, so now I'm going to, remember those pipe cleaners we removed? So here's one. So I'm going to place this a little bit above and a little bit below the other side. I hope he shuts my door, because I've been milking the heat in here all day. Okay, so I'm going to pull this towards, I want to make sure I can hold both of those, and I'm going to push it down to the depth that I want my sign to be. I don't want it to go all the way down to the frame depth, but like right there is perfect. So I'm going to do one twist to keep it in place. From here, should run into the opposite side. I was going too low. Okay, let me make sure I get wires on the right side. And I want to make sure I can bring that in. There's one side. Grab the other. And push this in. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to suck that one all the way in. Get it down to that depth. And the reason why it kind of looks like it's bowed right now is because the Deco mesh is still in the way. So from here, I'm going to release some of that tension by pulling just the edges, not the inside, just the edge of my Deco mesh up. Same thing here, just kind of go in, find that little edge piece. There's another one right here, nice little edge. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way around, just gravitating and pulling that little piece out. So that it lays more flush. And I've got one little piece right here. Come on. There we go. Making sure I'm not messing up my bows as I'm pulling that around. And I've got this piece right here a little bit. Gotta grab this one. Trying to find the one. Okay, so let me fix my bow because I pretty much smashed that one. Okay, now for this Deco mesh here at the bottom, I need to, right here, just this piece, I'm going to pull my loops forward. I'm going to push my Deco mesh under because this is where my bow is going to sit. So I need a location that I can sink my pipe cleaner to, and I need to make sure that the Deco mesh is not in the way to elevate. Otherwise, if I was to put my bow up here, it's going to want to sit here and not flush the sign. So here is, gotta find my bow. And I want to make sure that I have it in the right hands. Like, I don't know why lately I've been like mixing up which hand each side of my bow goes in. Like right now my bow is sideways. So I just got to work it through all the layers of Deco mesh. And I want to make sure that it is sitting flush up on my sign. And you also want to make sure that you have hooked a rail at some point, because if you have not, your bow will get floppy. It needs some stability to sit on, and then we can just refluff everything here. So we can bring our bow up on top of our sign, pull that up nice and pretty so everything looks nice. Okay, bringing it up, lifting everything up, nice and pretty. This is what it looks like for you guys. So now you can see the bow does not impact the sign at all. We could actually pull our bow up a little bit more. I'm looking at where I have that sit. I'm going to actually lift it up on one side, and I'm going to pull it up. Let me get this all untwisted on the back. This is what happens when you don't hit your rail and your bow is stuck. Okay, so now I want to bring this up just a little bit higher. I just want it to sit up higher so that the bow's not hanging off the bottom of the wreath. Okay, I was hoping for a bigger, there we go. I have the rail right here, so I'm working around that rail that's in the center too. Okay, making sure my pipe cleaner is straight. It has a lot of mesh to go through. I hate when I have to change it. Oh, thanks, Kaylee. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, working my pipe cleaner. There are about 8 layers of mesh right now. How is, oh, Elizabeth's talking to you, Kaylee. She wants to know how Noah is. Okay. There we go. Working through a rail. There we go. Nice and tight now. Yes, and I've managed to hook it through 2 rails. So that will give this a lot of stability. You can really yank on this bow and it's not going anywhere. Okay, so now we're going to embellish a bit. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to move these because I smashed all these in the effort. Should put my sign and my bow on first and then do the outside bows. I used to do that. I'm just fixing all these things. We're going with the purple on the outside. So let me get my purples all realigned. There we go. Making sure everything is sitting where it's supposed to sit. Okay, now it is embellishment time. So, I want to make sure I've got my loops sitting on top of my sign. Flat. Okay, so what are we embellishing with? Well, since this is called a lavender and sage, we're doing lavender. I don't really have any sage, so we're doing the next best thing, which is my favorite. We're doing lamb's ear because it's super soft and velvety. So this is lamb's ear garland, which is the cheaper alternative if you're going to add lamb's ear floral to your greenery or to your wreath. It is so much more cost effective to do it this way than buy big picks of lamb's ear. So, for example, I can come in right here and I'm going to, I had thought about putting, I want the lamb's ear and the lavender to go in the same spot. So I am going to add a dab of glue. I'm going to hold that over there so it doesn't drip on my wreath. And I'm just going to tuck that right into the base of my half bow. There we go. Had to get that end in there. And then this lavender has like a ton of little pick parts. So I am going to, I don't think this will go on that. I didn't think it would. There's like a little indent, but it's too small to work its way in here. So I'm going to, because we have pretty bows everywhere else, I'm just going to be adding on our green little like lavender and lamb's ear pieces like this. So that's the way it's going to go, just where we have the greenery, because it looks like, I mean, we could come back in and you can add more lavender if you wanted where your bows are. It's up to you, but I just literally cut them down to the center. So it gives you a nice little pick that you can just kind of stick right under the base right there. So a nice little dab of glue right underneath the loop. I'm going to kind of hold it there for a second. And then that's where I'm going to come under and grab my sprig of lavender, and that lavender is going to come straight out or to the side. It's whatever you want, because I kind of have these facing a little bit so that the lavender kind of goes down a bit. Okay, there's that. Pulling this one down. So right in between each one of those pieces on the garland, I'm getting a really nice size pick. Placing that right underneath, making sure everything else is out of the way so that once that's in there, you're good as gold. Just like so. Grab another little pick off of here. Aw, thanks, Kaylee. She said, your products have literally gotten through some of my hardest moments. Well, I'm super glad for that. Okay. Still spinning it around so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just cutting each little section off of the garland, just so they're like little V's. This is how it's going in. Let's get a prettier piece. It looked a little beat up. So just like that, just because it's more forward facing. And we're just bringing that right under the center, just like so. I just have like my previous bows helping to hold that in place till the glue sets up. And right in here, again, placing that right in the center. And then I've got one right here. I completely missed this one. Right in the front. So, cut the bottom, get that off. And we're going to bring that in. Okay. Stick that under. Bring that inside. Just like that. Lift. Grab our lavender. Grabbing all the glue off of it. Tucking this right on the inside. Okay. Now I do want to add a couple pieces around our sign and add our lavender because it's great that it's a nice border all the way around the outside, but I would like to see a little bit of it the same way. I am done on the inside, so I am just breaking my garland down even further, removing that center stem. Okay, so this will probably come probably right around. I always like look at placement first, so I'll cut like 3 sections. I know I need 3. Everything in odds. So probably something there. Maybe something right about here. Let me look. I like how those are. I don't want to do it like, I mean, we could, let me look. I'm trying to get one more piece. So that we could do this kind of like here. I think I'd like it like that. So look, that's what I'm thinking to add those pieces. So I'm going to grab this one here. So the nice thing about glue and florals and mesh is glue loves to adhere itself to Deco mesh. Loves it. So it means that adding it to your designs is fairly easy. Okay, going in here. And I'm kind of going right over that little area where the wire was for my sign. I'm going to get rid of my sign holder. And I'm going to grab this one. And I like the way that sat in there. So let's do that. Okay, so just like this. We're adding that in, just like that. Okay, now we're going to add those little touches of lavender. Same thing. We're just going to separate a couple sprigs. So the lambs are from Hobby Lobby. The lavender is from Sims. Trying to do my thought process. I'm going to actually put 2 right there at the top. One facing one direction, the other facing the other. I'm just placing. And then the last one right here at the bottom. Just like that. Oh, let's do 2 on each. I have it, so let's make it work. So, applying the glue. Tucking that in, making those kind of hang off the side. Here's one. It's great if you can get them curled where they're already going in the direction you need. This one's going to go right in here. Look how pretty that is. It looks so nice and homey. Okay, now we'll do these ones at the top. So right inside. Okay. Right inside there. Hard to believe. It just started off with a blah white base. And we have kind of found a way to incorporate all the other colors in this design. Okay, let's find this last one. See how it's already curved? So I'm just going to make sure the curve goes in the same direction that I need it to. So just like that. And look what we've done. Look what we've made. It's such a pretty, fun design. This would be perfect for spring. It'd be a great Mother's Day gift. A great gift just for a friend who's looking for a pick-me-up, you know, in their day. If you wanted to, you could go back in, which I think I'm going to do. So hang tight. I did it there. I'm going to do it on all the ones on the outside too, really quick. Because we have one in one spot, I'm going to make them 2 all the way around the outside. So it doesn't look like it's incomplete. So I'm just adding one more extra piece to the outside so that each piece has a little lavender bundle. Okay, there's the greenery, and you can see you get a lot on just one small pick. Like, I have barely dented this lavender pick, and this is my favorite brand of lavender, which is from Sims Pottery. But you have to order it online, but I like it. They made sure that it's a good quality lavender bush. And I like the little sagey green color on this one. So I'm just coming in and making sure we've got room for everything. 2 more. Okay. 1 here. And I think that is it. Like right there. I think I've gotten everything. I'm thinking about putting one in the center. I'm just looking. It's always good to look before you glue. Like if I did the same thing and we took another pick out of this bunch, a smaller one, like this. May not look good, but let me look. I think I can make it work because I went with a much, much smaller one. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the center, right here to the center. Got my lavender that's pointing down. So I've got one that'll go right here and one on the other side. And then this is perfect. What do you guys think? Hi, John. Welcome. Thanks for joining us from the UK. Okay. Trying to make sure that stays before I go ahead and lift that up and try to stick it on the door. So this is our sage. Technically it's lamb's ear and lavender, which is nice for spring, right? So I guess we've done our first spring, but I like this for whenever you just want. This could be like a newborn baby announcement, like welcome home, that kind of thing. It could be buying a new home kind of thing. I'm gonna lift you up. Hello all. I'm gonna try to outline that door a bit. Okay, so let me take this one down and we'll put this one up. Let me fluff up my bow while I have it here. It's so much easier to do what's laying flat in front of me. But look how pretty that is. I'm trying to actually make sure it hits the screw in the center of my door. So again, make sure all of your glue is out. Make sure all of your ribbon tails are nice and crisp. Because you'll notice the smallest thing when you're taking a photo or shooting a video and you're like, oh my, look at that, glue thread hanging off of there. Didn't really see that when I was looking at that. Like my glue right here. Making sure all of your ribbon tails are nice and pretty. Everything's standing up straight so you can see all the colors of the glue. The last little bit there, and I think that's it. What do you guys think? I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. There is our final design. You think it's Victorian, Steve? Yeah, Cheryl, it does pop on a black door. That's why I love the black door. So just little subtleties, not anything over the top. Nancy says beautiful. Yes, it's perfect. Valerie says beautiful, Kat. Sue says beautiful. Great. Thank you. So don't forget to come back. We're going to finish out another welcome wreath for this week. And then we're going to move into Thank you, Joan. She says absolutely stunning. We're going to move into the beginning part of our seasons. I already did New Year's. So we're going to do a Valentine's Day next week. So it'll be Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and just trying to stock the shop so that there's, for people who are done or they want to purchase things for in advance of a holiday, it's great if you have that stuff in your shop early. It's December, so technically we're supposed to be making stuff that is in March. So St. Patrick's Day, spring, Easter. I have to look at when does Easter fall this year. But all right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now, everyone. Thanks for watching.